have clear sailing in all the years to come.
I'd like you to call me at midnight, for old time's sake.
You think I don't want to wear it?
I don't know. I'm starting to wonder.
New Year's is never what you expect, is it?
Happiest time of my life is when I was broke. All in.
You think he's bluffing, Your Honor?
I think this is going to be a very interesting night.
Hello, I'm Josh Lucas, and this is Hollywood.com, and go see my new movie Poseidon on May 12th.
Did you watch the first one for any inspiration, or did you grow up at all with the first version in your world at all?
You know, I hadn't seen it until they had sent me the script, so I read the new Poseidon before I saw the old Poseidon Adventure. And, you know, one of the first things that Wolfgang Petersen, the director of this movie, said to me is, I don't want to remake the Poseidon Adventure. I want to completely reinvent the film. And that's what we all set out to do, and I think what we achieved is it's an absolutely different film.
The filming of it seems so, not like it's special effects, but there's so much actually more dependent on the acting and the cast and the ensemble and what you guys are going through. Could you tell me a little bit about how that brought you together as a cast and some of those experiences?
As actors, you're inside these situations where oftentimes you're not really acting, you're actually reacting, because the room itself is on fire and is imploding, and you're not faking that, you know? So you're oftentimes sort of truly running from a real monster in the water that's trying to get you, and the fires and all the different, you know, kind of very, very tough situations that we're in. And it bonded us as a cast because it was not easy.
Let's stick together and we can find a way out.
Just reach out! Shake him off! No, you both die!
How did this director speak to you in a different way?
Well, Wolfgang is very unique, particularly for someone who makes films at this level, particularly big action films, because those guys oftentimes they're egomaniacs, and they're oftentimes honestly jerks, and they don't care about anything but the visual, getting the shot. Wolfgang is almost entirely the opposite of that. He's just the sweetest guy. He's got this really kind of grandfatherly way on set where he knows everyone. He's had the same crew of people that have worked with him for very many years, and they absolutely love him. And he's got this like childlike attitude about being there, where he's incredibly passionate about what he does. He's in love with being there every day, and that sort of infuses in you the same love and desire to be there and create what the images that he wants.
Are you hurt?
Connor!
Go find him.
You know how much I love you.
The water's gonna rise, and I am right here. I love you. You have to be strong.
Is there something about films like this after 9/11 that speak in a particular way to, you know, primal fears and disaster and that sort of stuff?
This Poseidon is particularly, it's gritty, it's incredibly realistic, and part of it was that I felt, you know, look, there'd been a tsunami, there'd been a horrible earthquake, then there's been this, you know, the disaster of Katrina, the hurricane, and I felt like in a sense we needed to honor that, and we needed to honor, you know, how intense and powerful and painful and scary those situations must be to be inside of them.
That valve will open.
It won't open unless there's tremendous pressure. Flood it.
It's the only way out. I'm never gonna leave you.
Could you tell us like a few logistics? I'm sure so many people are curious, like where the shooting happened and, like, you know, the vessel that you're on.
It's an interesting movie because it's one of the very few rare movies that's shot entirely on a soundstage, and it's not a CGI movie either. It's not created by a computer. Almost everything they did is they built these sets, even to the point that they took a number of the massive soundstages at Warner Brothers, which, you know, can be 9-10 stories high, and they dug 3 or 4 stories underneath them so that they could fill them with water. For example, that 7-story set 3 stories of it, 30 feet, more than 30 feet could fill with water, and like entirely in seconds. And they put us in those situations where, and you'll see when you see the movie, these explosions of water that are happening as the different parts of the ship are basically beginning to drown or beginning to sink, and the pressure on the walls of the boat is exploding inward. You will walk out of the movie having seen a very honest, incredibly gritty, terrifying story of survival and what these people go through, and some of the most wild filmmaking you've ever seen, where sets that are literally imploding and exploding, and actors who are inside of it and basically being caught on fire. There's a great moment where Kurt Russell actually was like, "Oh God, my head's on fire," because one of the waterfalls of sparks had fallen and caught the back of his hair on fire. But it's an extremely realistic, very, very powerful story of survival and a group of people getting through an incredible disaster. It's as good as filmmaking gets.
There's nothing fair about who lives and who dies.